Okay, folks, welcome back again to PCAN's live stream of interviews being conducted in rapid-fire succession at the AIP Australasian Packaging Conference 2025 and beyond, with this interview being brought to you thanks to Ball and Doggett. Lindy, take it away.
Well, Grant, I'm sitting here with the president of the World Packaging Organization, no less, and that is my good friend, Pierre Pienaar. Pierre, you just gave us a good summary of the state of play in packaging from a global perspective. Your messages were very strong and very clear. But one of the first things you said was the importance for us all to keep ourselves educated. How do you feel about the congregation we have here today?
You know, when one stands up on a podium, be it here in Australia or anywhere else in the world, and you see a sea of faces of nearly 300 people, for me, that is so encouraging and so heartwarming, because they are there because they want to be here. They want to learn more about the field that they are in and ensure that they maintain and what is new in the industry and maintain their being relative in their particular space. So to see this diversity of people, you know, they're not all direct packaging technologists that are here, but they're all interested in ultimately making sure we have the right packaging out there across our planet.
Now, one of the things I picked up from your presentation was you were talking about, in terms of us moving towards a circular economy and progressing the ability for us to recycle materials, that there's a large amount of packaging that could potentially be converted to mono materials. Can you remind me of the statistic you threw out there?
You know, it's sort of a bit of an evolution, because over time, as we want more shelf life and things like that, so the barrier structures have increased.
And they've got more complex.
Exactly, which makes it more harder and more difficult to recycle. But, you know, we have the technology, we have the knowledge, we have the expertise to make a difference tomorrow, right across the world. We can convert nearly almost 70% of all product across the world can change to a monomer tomorrow, because the technology is there for food, pharma, and some of those difficult products.
Yeah.
Now, you may say, well, what about the other 30%? Now, that other 30% is predominantly in the pharma sector, and we understand that. I say, let's get the 70% right first.
Yeah.
We'll worry about the other 30% later. But at the moment, we're not even anywhere near the 70%. We're not even in plastics alone across the world. We're recycling less than 20%.
Yeah. I think it's something like 16 here in Australia. So there's a long way to go, depending on the materials. And then, Pierre, at the end of it all, you were very clear about, you spoke about food waste, you spoke about loss of food and wastage along the supply chain. But essentially, the final strong message is...
Well, you know, I love this one. And I'll try and end on it, because we all hardworking people, sure, and focus on our work. But at the same time, we're all women of family and men of families. And family is important to us. And if we don't do something, we are not preparing this planet for our future generations. Now, as I mentioned in my talk, I have a little granddaughter who's 3 years old. I want her to say one day, my grandfather made a difference. Not my grandfather could have made a difference and he didn't.
Yeah.
So for me, that's important. And I believe that in this room, so many others are on that same page as I am on that one. Many of us have the influence to do something about it in our own space. Well, let's do it.
Yes. Let's do it today. Thanks very much for joining us, Pierre. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thanks, Pierre. As ever, always a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks, Lindy. And of course, thanks for tuning in to this PKN interview that was conducted at the AIP Conference 2025 and beyond. We'll be back shortly with another informative discussion that'll be brought to you by Ball and Doggett.